was had a question as to, my brother was pulled over this past weekend for DUI. He did refuse a breathalyzer, so they don't know how much alcohol he had in his system. And I was trying to find out just what's the next step. What would go on? What are the possibilities of things that can go on with him from this point? And he is on parole.
Okay. Good question.
Yes.
Well, yeah, parole can change a lot of things. That's a major issue. The major thing that you need to consider, Rose, is that you need to have an attorney on this case. This case is a little different than the standard case. When someone's on parole, there's a possibility of violation, and that's an issue that's separate and a separate offense other than the DUI. So you want to retain an attorney in that area, in the jurisdiction. Not exactly sure where this is at, but find a local attorney that you and I would talk to several, meet with a few, and just make sure you're comfortable. Let them help you along and navigate this process. But don't go into court without an attorney. They took the breathalyzer, so there's going to be some scientific evidence. If it's a .08 or higher, which is a threshold, then that's probably going to be a good DUI, and that's something that could put someone back in prison that has been out of prison on a parole issue.
Wow, very serious.
And Rob, talk a little bit, if you will, a little bit more about that question. Should you or should you not take a breathalyzer if you are stopped?
Well, we get this question all the time, and there's a mixed thought process on this. Everyone's worried about their license. The biggest question I usually get is, how do I get my driver's license back? You know, the judge doesn't take your driver's license. Now, when you get pulled over, often the police officer will take the driver's license, send it back to Montgomery. We have what we call implied consent law in Alabama, and it says basically that when you agree under a contract to get a driver's license from the Department of Public Safety, in exchange you will provide and give a sample test if needed, the VAC, the blood alcohol content. But at the same time, you don't have to. You're giving up your right. You have a right not to give that, and you have a right because those tests, you know, you don't know the calibration of the machine, training the person taking. There's a lot of issues that could change that dynamic. And to be frank, oftentimes the police officers are working third shift when they make the arrest, and we're on first shift in the morning when we normally go to court, and they may not show up. But if they don't show up and I don't have a blood alcohol content, I'm asking for a dismissal. So I would say overall, I advise my clients not to take that test.
Okay, that's a really good question, really good question. Sounds like it's a lot of personal choice that you need to make in that moment.